Welcome, everybody. This is the Retro XP Podcast, a podcast dedicated to retro video games from the first and second gen, with the Odyssey and the Atari 2600 all the way up to Gen 7 with the Xbox 360 and the PS3. On today's episode, it's a very special episode. It's not just me this time around. I'm here with two good buddies of mine. We'll be talking about Illusion of Gaia.
Oh, yeah.
In its entirety. And I'm here with one of my co-hosts from the Zombie Dogs, Raw Dogs, Hair of the Dogcast, everything, Brad.
A lot of podcasts, yeah. Excited to be here, talk about a game that I just absolutely adore.
Yeah, and a very little known game, which is interesting. And we're also joined by, a fellow supporter of the show, a good friend of the podcast and everything, Phil. I can call you Phil, right?
You can call me Phil, yeah. My
Okay.
my username in Discord is a really clever masking of my real name.
Okay. I got it. So actually, a little bit about you, Phil. Like, how long have you've been following the show? You've been following Brad for a while?
Yeah, it sticks out of my memory because when I found the show, it was, I want to say December of 2019. Brad was really excited about an upcoming Disney trip in March or April of 2020 that you can imagine got cut short for a certain reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that sticks out of my mind. But yeah, I've been following the show ever since, and in the Discord for most of that time as well. And so Stoy, I feel like I know you very well, although this is my first time talking to you, virtually at least.
Right. Yeah. Virtually, kind of
outside of typing on Discord. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, you've always had some really good insights into a lot of the retro stuff that I talk about, because obviously that stuff is near and dear to my heart, as my listeners know and stuff. But yeah. So it's just funny because we got to talking about, because this is obviously your topic that you chose, and it's coincidentally coincided with my top 10 list. I made a top 10 list of my top 10 favorite games of all time, kind of before Gen 7, so pre PS3 360. And Illusion of Gaia is on here. It's one of my favorite, if not, I would say one of my favorite RPGs of all time.
Yeah.
If you call it that. When you were like, we should talk about Illusion of Gaia, and I was like, bet, let's go.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's I think you and I are around the same age based on, musical tastes we've shared on Discord and grayness in our hair. And so yeah, this was this game came out, I think I was probably 11 or 12, right around that perfect time to leave a mark. And it's one I've thought about ever since I played, and I was really excited to have another reason to replay it recently.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I even started to replay it recently, and I was like, it's amazing how it still holds up combat-wise and story-wise and stuff. When you say showing our age, I think we have similar music tastes. Over the weekend, I saw Spine Shank and Non-Point.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Spine Shank is back, I guess.
I heard that. I had Spine Shank's first CD. I think it was their first one. Whatever one had, there were a couple radio hits, and then I was the biggest Non-Point fan back in high school. I went to several of their concerts, and I fell off after the second album, I think. But that first one was a big part of my teenage years.
Oh yeah, same. And Non-Point, I mean, still got it. They're still making albums, and occasionally I'll catch in and listen to some of their new stuff. But yeah, still got it.
Nice. Well,
anyway.
I went to a Lil Wayne concert over the weekend, so a little bit different genre, but I'm sure we've all listened to some Lil Wayne over the years.
Yeah, I think we have. You're right. So anyway, so for those that don't know out there, Illusion of Gaia is probably one of the more prolific SNES games of all time, or more prolific RPGs. It's had its kind of like a share of kind of niche audiences. What do they call those? What do they call that? Where it's like kind of like a niche audience type of movie.
A cult?
Cult classic.
There you go,
yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying. So, Illusion
of
Gaia.
You're sharp today.
Yeah. See, you got it. Illusion of Gaia, which is known in PAL territories as Illusion of Time, and Gaia Gensoki in Japan, which translates to the Gaia Fantasy Chronicle, is an action role-playing game developed by Quintet for the SNES Entertainment System. It was released in Japan in 1993 and in North America and PAL territories by Nintendo in 1994, 1995, respectively. So it's part of the Quintet trilogy of games, which includes Soul Blazer that came out in 1992 and Terranigma, which came out in 1995. That last one we never got in America for whatever reason, which is kind of sad. But
Yeah, I remember finding out that this was part of a supposed trilogy and being very excited and getting it on an emulator back in the day. And it just wasn't Illusion of Gaia.
yeah,
And so I never really picked him up as much. But I know that there is at least part of a continuing plot line, like a through line from the first game, from Soul Blazer through Illusion of Gaia with an optional boss. But yeah, I never actually played the other two.
yeah. I have Terranigma. I have a repro copy, and I played a little bit. So, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I was aware of Soul Blazer existing, but I definitely didn't play it before Illusion of Gaia, and I haven't gone back to it. But when I've looked up the games, like they don't really seem like they're the same thing, and just never really drew me back to it. Illusion of Gaia just kind of always stood out on its own to me and existed kind of as a one-off for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. The developers actually didn't paint it out to be like a continual trilogy. They have nothing to do story-wise with each other, with maybe the exception of like some things here and there. But they do share philosophical ideas about creation, destruction, human history, existential dread, all this stuff. So Illusion of Gaia is set in a fantasy reimagining of Earth. The game's plot centers around a boy named Will who is chosen to save the world from an impending disaster. Through the game, the player guides Will through levels inspired by the ancient ruins of real-world civilizations and wonders of the world, which include the Great Pyramid, the Great Wall of China, among other famously real-world historical locations. And this
Very
is what
cool.
this is where I latched on as a kid, because I was such a huge like ancient history buff as a kid. And when I found out you could get a video game where like the Great Wall of China is in it and like the Great Pyramid of Giza was in it, I was like all in.
Yeah, I got to say though, if you take your geography lessons from this game, you're going to be a little messed up.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they take a few liberties, obviously, but the sprite-based game features an angled top-down view of the action, with the player controlling Will through the entire game. Will can attack enemies with his flute.
Yeah, his
in the
flute,
game's real-time combat.
The famous weapon, the flute.
Hey, before Ron Burgundy or Andre 3000, Will from South Cape was making the flute cool.
Hell yeah. That flute lasted the whole game, at least up until the end. As the game progresses, Will gains access to the Dark Space, which is an extra-dimensional area accessible by stationary portals where he can save his game and transform himself into Heroes Freedan and later Shadow.
So
All three
I wonder
characters.
if it's weird just going through immediate mega puberty when you go into a portal.
Right, yeah.
He
where all
comes
of a
out like
sudden
this
you're just
buff dude, like Shazam style. It's got to be a little weird.
with those golden locks just
Yeah.
flowing. Yeah.
You think of other things to do with the flute too, so.
Yeah, I guess. All three characters learn techniques that make them either required or preferred to advance throughout parts of the game. So there's parts that you unlock an ability that requires you to advance further on. So.
Yeah, and talking about development of the game, character development and experience is limited to jewels that increase either your attack, defense, or health. That can be found by killing all the enemies in any area, which is also occasionally necessary to release a kind of force, in quotes, that removes an obstacle to advancement, like exposing a doorway, destroying a barrier, and so on. The enemies are indicated on Will's map and do not respawn once killed. And then lives can be gained by collecting 100 jewels dropped by most defeated enemies. And instead of reverting back to your last save point, if you have any of these lives, you can respawn back in the same area that you died in.
I like that there's no grinding.
Yeah.
I like that it encourages you to defeat every enemy in each kind of cordoned off level section. And that there's like little puzzles that they'll work into about that, like how do you get to this enemy over there? And collecting all of the jewels and 100%ing this game was something I did become obsessed with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once you settle into the gameplay loop too of each area, and finding all the enemies and following the map, it if it works for you, it's a lot of fun, and you kind of settle into the challenge of it, and they kind of, especially in the later areas, it ramps up in terms of the number of enemies you have to go after.
Yeah.
Health can be restored through the use of herbs, of which there are a finite number hidden in the game. And I can tell you by experience, if you use these too early, it's going to make other parts of the game a little more challenging.
Yep.
There's no currency or merchants in the sense of a traditional RPG. However, there's a jeweler who rewards Will with items for sending him gems that he finds. You can pick those at any point on the map and send those off, and clears up your inventory as well. There are 50 such gems hidden throughout the game, and collecting them all reveals the secret level and the story behind the jeweler.
And some of them are stupid to find.
Yes,
And
really
some
are.
of them you have to like rat out a slave to the slaver.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, there are some dark elements of this game we got to make sure we acknowledge.
yeah.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
And there's and you can permanently miss them too. I mean, you don't travel back to most areas.
Yep.
Hmm.
And as Will's adventure leads him forward, areas and towns are left behind, oftentimes permanently, as we just mentioned. First half of the game world will become inaccessible by the second half, and therefore it's important for the player to collect as many herbs, gems, and jewels as possible before moving on, as failing to accomplish enough can leave Will lacking later on and make the game more difficult. Much of the game takes place in conversation, both towns and many others less traditional places for conversation. In some places, the player must simply read the story. In others, the player must spur the game forward, either by talking, waiting, and watching.
The waiting part, sometimes it's like, what am I supposed to be doing here?
Yeah.
What am I missing?
Yeah.
But it's
I just actually looked. I mean, unfortunately, people in audio land don't see this, but I have the completed box copy of it, and the completed box copy comes with like a full-on explorer handbook. Like, this is a complete guide of the game, and it's nice that they actually tell you where all the jewels are.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice if you're a collector.
Or if you like to collect PDFs, you can find it online as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because physical is dead.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Well, the original story was written by Mariko Ohara, a famous Japanese science fiction writer. Very cool. She's written a few novels between 1982 and 1999, with Illusion of Gaia as her only credited video game writing. Game was directed by Masaya Hashimoto, character designer Moto Hagio, game designer Tomoyoshi Miyazaki, graphic designers Naoko Suzuki, Takehiro Ora, Koji Yokota, and sound composer Yasuhiro Kawasaki.
Nice job. I'm glad I gave this to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, if Tyler was here, we could have made him read him.
Yeah, we
know.
definitely would have made him do it.
But the composer is amazing. The soundtrack for this game absolutely slaps. I used to have a bootleg vinyl of it, but I wound up selling it off.
No.
and
No.
I had to buy a
No.
house,
Oh yeah. Okay. Fine.
and it was worth a lot of money. But
Yeah.
no, the soundtrack for this game holds a special place in my heart, and it transports me right back to those feelings as a kid, and it's good. I do like the music quite a bit.
Absolutely. I was going to say the dark space music alone makes the game. And I remember when I was a kid, I took my little brother's like Fisher Price recorder and taped it to my TV speaker so I could record that dark space music and play it back whenever I wanted to.
Are you talking about the one where you like elect to leave?
Like the save point room?
Oh,
Yeah,
just the save point room. Yeah.
Yeah, just the save point room. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was like the part where it's like, oh, do you want to end your journey here? And you could say yes, and then it's like it zaps.
Yep.
It zaps you away, and then that kind of like ethereal music plays in the background. That
Yep.
I was
Yeah, it's fantastic.
$350 for this vinyl. What the hell?
I know. Besides working on Illusion of Gaia, many of these developers worked on Robotrek, ActRaiser 2, and went on to make a spiritual successor in the Grand Stream Saga for the original PlayStation. The last game they developed was Magical Hushin for the Game Boy Advance in 2002. Since then, they've been suspiciously absent. Yeah, it's been 24 years. That's pretty absent.
I think they're gone.
They might be gone. I'm going to be honest. Maybe they're cooking up the biggest game ever. Game designer and studio head Tomoyoshi Miyazaki is suspiciously absent as well, cannot be found. Puts speculation on remasters or re-releases of anything by Quintet, despite acclaimed music composer and game developer Yuzo Koshiro directly urging Square Enix to bring it Illusion of Gaia and Terra Enigma to modern platforms on his Twitter page. Yeah, but nothing yet. This will be the podcast that breaks the camel's back, though. It'll happen now.
That's right.
Yeah, I hope so. We could do it, guys. Come on.
Yeah, because this hasn't been re-released anywhere, has it? I mean,
No, I want to say, I think the one thing I didn't mention was that they did ActRaiser 2, kind of reimagining, or I forget what they called it, but that came out like 2 years ago, which kind of leads some people to believe, okay, that was a property of Quintet. So I think this is the whole debate of like, does Quintet actually own the rights, or does Square Enix own the rights?
Yeah, I heard that was the rights issue was kind of weird.
Yeah. So, otherwise, let's head on to our main cast. We got Will, talked about him. He's the hero of our story, this school-aged boy. The age is, I would assume, high school.
Oh, I would assume teenager, 13 years old.
Yeah.
He seems like a little pipsqueak.
Yeah, right. He returned to his hometown 1 year earlier in the game without his father, who was lost during a voyage to explore the biblical Tower of Babel. Will is determined to find his father again, though he seems a bit fuzzy on what exactly happened. Since the return, he has discovered he has a limited psychic ability, like the ability to attract items in the world to him by twirling his little flute. And at the outset of the game, finds that he is able to see and enter portals to another dimension called the Dark Space. He has a close relationship with his friends and relies on them for advice, companionship, and aid on his journey. Yet Will, as we will come to learn, is perhaps the only one with the power to save Earth from the approach of chaos from the sky. He learns to persevere in his calling, even as others must sacrifice to help him. Which this game kind of deals with some sacrifice.
He's into also ratting out slaves to their masters, so I don't know if he's a good guy. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know. A couple shades of gray here.
Yes.
This is a very pro-capitalism game, right? Anything you can to get the jewels, get the money.
He will do whatever it takes, and I've done some things too in video games I'm not proud of, but if someone's got an armor set, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah. I think as a kid, this kind of deals with a lot of kind of dark parts of humanity that imagine you two, like 11, 12 years old. It's like, damn, this isn't what I expected in like a video game, at least at my age. So
no, and I will, honestly, this is a lot of it surprised me on the replay recently because just maybe some of it went over my head when I was a kid, but I was like, we're talking about slave labor and labor trade and a lot of topics kind of casually thrown in throughout the story.
Eating your pets,
sure.
Yep, right, yeah. Cannibalism,
awesome.
Human trafficking, all that stuff. Yeah,
I would eat the fuck out of that pet.
Yeah. We got Kara, who's a selfish, spoiled princess of nearby Edward Castle. Edward is her father, the king in this sense.
Do they change the castle name every time there's a new king?
I guess, yeah.
Bob Castle, Steve Castle.
Yeah.
Steve Castle, yeah. Kara encounters Will while leaving the castle on one of her semi-regular rebellions against the stifling restraints of her life. Kara grows more than any other character in the story, transformed by her experiences from a sulking, obstinate brat. I can't believe I used the word obstinate here.
She is, though.
To a confident, useful contributor and Will's closest friend, quote. As the game approaches its end, Kara reaches a potential far beyond her shallow beginnings. And then adding to Kara is Hamlet, her pet pig. Hamlet displays an empathy beyond what most would expect from a farm animal, willing to brave a dungeon and the world to help his mistress and other human beings in need. Hamlet represents a pure goodness and duty of friendship.
Yeah, he's a pig.
Yeah, very much a pet pig.
He's a cute little pig. That's it.
Definitely a pig.
But, heart full of gold.
Yeah. Tastes great.
Yeah.
Tastes great. Yeah. To eat or not to eat.
Yeah.
Then we have Lily. She is, Lily's adolescent child from Itori Village. Lily is protected by the flower spirit and can transform herself into a dandelion and fly through the air at will. Not at will, at her own
sometimes.
free will. Yeah.
I was going to say, every time I use the word will in a will sense, yeah, it's
While she's just as headstrong as Kara, Lily is her polar opposite in experience, knowing much of the nearby world from her travels, and has little patience for her. She is proud of the unique nature of her magical village and people, and knows Will's family through his mother's side. She's an energetic, hardworking companion who wants to help Will succeed, but eventually she finds something more in another member of the group.
Ouch.
Wink.
About wow.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, these teenagers are horny.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Seth, one of Will's 3 school friends. Seth comes from a hostile and that's the other thing I was thinking of: domestic violence and dispute. Yeah. Those were broken home. Prefers to spend most of his time playing cards with his companions at their secret seaside cave. Intelligent and adventurous, Seth is a normal schoolboy of his age. He has the best diagnosis of Will's budding powers when Will demonstrates them, and comes with the other boys to join Will on his quest. Unfortunately for Seth, a strange and terrifying fate awaits him in his journey, but one that will later help Will to understand what his quest encompasses and why it is important. Eric, another of Will's school friends. Eric's family is the oldest of South Cape, and their house is the biggest. And they let you know this many times, and it's not their fault they have a big house.
Rich fucks.
Yeah, right. Eric's just well off. It's no big deal.
Go capitalism, like I said. They know the jeweler well. This doesn't seem to rub off on Eric, though, who is Will's most affable companion, never presenting Will with difficulties and always helping with advice. Eric seems to reflect Will's former life as a normal boy, as he follows Will throughout the entire game, but undergoes no particular character change from his carefree days hanging out in the cave, except in adapting to the rigors of traveling life. Eric is a source of humor, constantly being interrupted in his attempts to go to the bathroom.
This boy can't hold his pee.
Yeah. It happens.
Weak bladder.
Yeah.
And then we have Lance, a close friend of Will. Lance also lost his explorer father in an expedition. His only remaining family is his mother, who knew Will's family. Lance is the most forthright of the group, stating his mind and pushing the others to a course of action. While not quite bossy, he's definitely comfortable putting his foot down on a course of action. Being a loyal friend, this course of action is usually to follow Will.
I'm just gonna do what Will wants.
I'll be honest, but most of his friends kind of run together in my mind. But I think you've done a great job describing them here.
If they didn't have different colors, then I wouldn't know. Because this game very much is like Kara is pink and this one
Seth
is green.
Lily is blue.
Yeah.
And they all get very grotesque looking when they turn to the side. There's something happens with the side profile sprite in this game with the hair or something that really throws me off.
No, Seth is the worst when he faces the camera and he's got this buck-eyed or buck-toothed look with the glasses. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Neil, Will's long-lost cousin, modeled as a Leonardo da Vinci of the world, inventing such myriad devices as the telescope, the camera, an oxygen tank, and the airplane. When their journey deposits the group relatively near his workshop, he decides to take a detour to ask Neil for advice on how to accomplish the tasks he has been given. Neil is an eccentric but kind man, willing to help with the interesting challenges facing Will. An incident leading to an attack of conscience will bring Neil to leave his tinkering and adventuring behind for a time. We have the lovable Grandma Lola and Grandpa Bill, the grandparents who are taking care of Will after the sudden absence of his father, Oman. Bill used to be a renowned architect, having designed the sewer system underneath the castle's prison, which is actually there's a little plot hole. Maybe they're like, we'll just go ahead and fix that up right there. Mm-hmm. It's well known for its dangerous and maze-like pathways, and Grandma Lola is a wonderful singer. That's who she is.
I couldn't find anything else about her.
She's a wonderful singer, and you need that music in this game.
Yeah.
And the only other character to bring up is Gaia, the source of all life on the planet. She guards the dark space, lets you be a man or a little shadow demon, and she'll let you save the progress. Plus, she has some dope tunes, and you can just hang out in that room as long as you want.
Yeah, just sit and chill. Put your controller in your lap and just hang out.
Yep.
So, no judgment from her.
Sig break.
Yep. So as far as reception and sales go, the game received a 23.9 out of 30 score in a reader's poll. That was conducted by Super Famicom Magazine, which is kind of neat. This is obviously before the days of Metacritic. It holds a rating of 80.17 based on 9 reviews, according to the review aggregator Game Rankings. So Nintendo Power gave it a 3.675 out of 5. very specific number. And GamePro gave it a 90 out of 100, which is a much better number, as did Computer and Video Games Magazine as well. So GamePro praised the game's puzzle-solving elements, effect-heavy graphics, eclectic soundtrack, and gentle difficulty slope. They added that the game, however, has sacrificed the central theme that gave the original Soul Blazer and ActRaiser before it a distinct sense of direction and purpose, which I would argue that those are different games. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an impression that had your good works have an ongoing impact in the game world. On the other hand, Illusion of Gaia enjoys a sense of worldliness that Soul Blazer didn't have. You never know quite what's coming next, and that's the best thing that could be said about an RPG. Game Zero magazine's Brian Carter commented on the game's visuals and play control, but found its soundscapes average. Carter also complained about the puzzle aspect, stating that these are not puzzles by any stretch of the imagination, but are more of an exercise of frustration control, which, I mean, I could...
Yeah, it sounds like he just sucks at gaming.
Yeah.
Get good.
There's a few parts of friction, but I mean, it's not that tough.
I will suffer no negative words being said about my Illusion of Gaia.
I'm with you there. I'll say a 9 out of 10. I'll even give someone an 8 out of 10. I mean, if you want to gripe about some of the translation or just some of the random plot points, like, oh hey, Neil's over here, we can go. He'll help us. But it's a pretty solid game.
Yeah, I would say translation issues aside, which I mean was pretty common back then. I mean, with trying to translate games from Japan over to America, but that would hardly be a reason for me to say it's a bad game. But
no.
Quintet reported that Illusion of Gaia sold 650,000 copies worldwide, with 200,000 of them sold in Japan, 300,000 sold in North America, and 150,000 copies sold in Europe. Illusion of Gaia was rated the 186th best game made on a Nintendo system in Nintendo Power's top 200 games list in 2006. I can't believe that was so low.
I know.
A lot of
That's
bangers,
wild.
but I don't know. That does seem not good.
IGN ranked Illusion of Gaia 74th on their top 100 SNES games of all time.
I can definitely see it in the top 100. I still think that's pretty low, though.
Yeah, I still think that's low, but I guess there's only a small amount of us that love this game to death.
I guess. I thought it was more widely known and popular growing up. I always assumed so. Then you start asking people about it now, and a lot of people haven't heard of it.
But people that do know about it are usually pretty hot on it.
Yes. Like, love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. And it was just like, it's fine. I've played it all the way through. But it's fine. No, people love it.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to say, we mentioned Japan again. If anyone's listening to this and hasn't seen the Japan box art, I don't know if that's coming up later in the discussion, but I would encourage you to Google it, because it is it's fantastic box art.
It's arguably better. Yeah, I didn't put it in the notes, but it is definitely better.
Yeah.
Definitely that era where they figured American teenage boys weren't going to want to buy a game with pretty anime boy on the cover.
Those fools. Of course we do.
Of course we do. Give it 5 more years and we'd be all over it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this was still the time when you were made fun of for watching anime. So give it a few more years, and then that would have been sold like hotcakes.
So moving on to the premise and story. Illusion of Gaia is set in a version of Earth that is partially historical in our world, quote unquote, but primarily fantasy-based. The game features several real-world locations, such as Incan ruins, the Nazca Lines, Angkor Wat, the Great Wall of China, and the Egyptian pyramids. Each of these ruins holds a piece of the final puzzle, which is revealed in the legendary Tower of Babel. And I had this game on my mind last night as I dreamt that I was walking through somewhere and saw the Nazca Lines. So
they're still discovering. They're still discovering lines, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. I ended up watching a YouTube video all about the Nazca Lines after playing this.
Mm-hmm.
The story takes place during the Age of Exploration, and if you let the game kind of go into its attract mode, you get a story that you don't get otherwise, or if you don't read the book either, and it talks all about that. But it roughly corresponds to the 16th century of our Earth, with references to figures like Christopher Columbus. Explorers seek ancient ruins along with their treasures and secrets. Many return empty-handed, and some are never seen again. Will, the protagonist of the game, is the sole survivor of one such expedition. He's accompanied by his father, a renowned explorer, on a maritime journey to uncover the secrets of the Tower of Babel. The expedition encountered a mysterious disaster, and although Will managed to return to his hometown of South Cape, he has no recollection of how he survived.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened to me last night. I don't know how I got home, and I don't know what happened. So
At least you didn't wake up with a flute in your hand.
Yeah.
there
Or
was
did you?
a skin flute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will's dad took him on his first bender, and
Yeah.
he just woke up back home, and he says, "You know what? Call it good."
Hangover.
Will,
part
you're a man
4.
now.
Yeah, and just taking us right into the game here. That's kind of all of the setup. This game begins at Will's school in South Cape. Class ends. This is a tedious opening to the game. I have
Yeah.
no patience to sit through school for
Ding,
some of this
ding, ding,
dialogue.
ding.
Yeah.
Class ends, and Will's friends say, "Yeah, we're meeting at the cave by the seashore." Which honestly, that cave is the only cool spot in town. You would imagine other people would be doing something. I would open up a dive bar down there or something, right by the water. But
A fight club or something.
there you go.
Yeah.
Heading up to the school rooftop, you find a doorway to the dark space, and Will just kind of rolls with it. There will be many of these doorways. This is where you can save your game. From here, you jump off the ledge below the school to meet the jeweler, Gem Man. You'll find many red jewels on your adventure, and he has his own private shop for said jewels. He is definitely some sort of a mysterious being, and he doesn't care where you get them as long as you get him them jewels. So you head on over to the seaside cave. You talk to Lance and Seth. You can stop by the fisherman here, and he keeps saying you can't pull it up. Eric will then. That is important. That will come up.
Yes.
Eric rushes in, says, news, big news. The princess of Edward Castle has run away. They say she's came to South Cape. And Lance just, that's all. You came in such a hurry that I thought something really big happened, not just a runaway princess coming to our town. Like, that's literally the best news possible.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. The princess is probably that spoiled girl, Kara, the one you like so much. Well, fuck yeah. There's how many princesses at Edward Castle? See, that's why I think that they might even be like 8-year-olds. They're pretty.
It might be her.
Yeah. You mean that one? The only one? Liar.
This is where I thought some of the translations were a little off. Like, okay.
Well, Eric exclaims, "Liar! Maybe the soldiers will come here looking for the soldiers from Edward Castle. That looks so cool. I want a steel helmet too." These guys, they are talking like some 10-year-olds for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, they're in that phase where they're still watching cartoons and starting to like girls, but they don't really know how to go about it.
And just really into helmets, that adolescent age.
Yeah.
After that, everyone says, "Hey, Will, use your psychic power." And Will busts his flute out and twirls it around.
It's what prepubescent teenage boys do in caves.
Hey, show us your flute.
Just pull their flutes
Now,
out.
spin it around.
That statue moved.
He moves a statue in the cave, which this seems like pretty substantial too.
Yeah.
They're so cool about it though. Use your psychic power, Will.
They're like, that's stupid. After Seth speculates you might have a sixth sense and confusing the hell out of Lance, Will heads back to his house and you'll be introduced to a girl and her little piggy. That's not a euphemism.
Nope.
She has a pet.
So
Pet.
Kara here introduces herself to Will as he wonders what the hell this pig is doing in his house. After recognizing the picture of Will's father, Oldman, on the wall, guards show up to take Kara back to the castle, begrudgingly. Kara screams as she's being dragged that she feels like they met before, like they were good friends. Will's grandparents are a little pissed off that Kara lied to them, but they quickly forget about it and eat some pie, as one does. Will goes to bed, has a weird dream about him and Kara traveling the world, and wakes up to his grandma Lola giving him a letter from the king. Letter reads, "Bring the crystal ring from Ullman's things to Edward Castle." And that's all it says.
Every time I've come home to find a random girl and a pig in my house, and then she gets dragged away, as she always does,
They always do.
I always feel better about it after I eat some pie.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
that was pretty crazy, but this pie is ready.
So dig in, everybody. Grandma's pissed at this point reading the letter, but she sings to herself and she calls it Lola's Melody. Will commits it to memory, and this will come in handy later in the game. All right, so Will heads on over to the castle empty-handed. He's like, "What ring?" I'm just going to go and tell him no, I don't have it. He doesn't have any ring to give, so here he talks to Kara in her room, which is guarded 24/7 by the castle guard. They call him Old Snorehead, so got him.
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Some wounds will never heal.
Sick burn.
Nope, sure won't.
Yeah.
She asks why he's here, tells her that he is here to deliver some ring from his father's possessions. And Kara's like, "Terrible. It's terrible. Again, my father is trying to take something important from someone. I escaped from the castle before. Now they won't let me go out. Recently, something very strange has happened in the castle. My mother hired a famous hunter. It's ominous. I feel scared. My father and mother seem to have changed. Please save me. Take me out of here. Please."
And he says, I'm 10.
Yeah. What? I'm going to attack the guards with my flute.
Good thing I brought my flute with me.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I'm going to sharpen this edge here.
Yeah.
Will is kicked out and goes to see the king and queen. The king asks if you have it. You could lie. You could tell him I have it, and, he throws you in the dungeon. Or you could tell him you don't have it, and he just throws you in the dungeon anyway. Either way, doesn't matter what you choose. You're going to the dungeon. In the meantime, he just says he's going to send guards to ransack your house and find this ring.
Sounds like a great king.
Yeah, right?
Benevolent, yes.
Not overreacting at all.
I like this where he was like being dragged. The Will's like, "Ma'am, help me." And the queen's like, "Did you call me ma'am?"
Obviously, they're not from the South.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not.
And at a very unique gaming plot point, our hero has gone to a castle on good intentions and ends up in the dungeon and underground tunnels. But you find yourself in a prison cell and take a look around the cell, examining everything such as the door, the wall chain, the ball and chain, and even the moss. Eventually, a soldier will drop some bread down for you to eat. This is some of that waiting we talked about earlier. The bread is the worst thing you've ever eaten. Will eventually drifts off to sleep, but is awoken by his father's voice speaking from the flute.
His flute has his father's voice.
It's a magical flute, Brad.
Yeah, okay.
My flute's been talking to me, guys.
I don't know if it's my psychic power or what. But.
Will, you okay?
Yeah.
And so his flute dad says to him,
Flute dad.
"You must make a pilgrimage to the ruins of the world to find the mystic statues. The closer you get to the crystal, the stronger the evil power will be. Will. No time. Quickly. First to the Incan ruins."
All right, what the fuck are you doing, Dad Flute, that you're running out of time in the flute?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
are you limited on how long of a call? Do you not have minutes on flute talk? Like, what are we doing here?
Hey, this was the era of 1-800-COLLECT, you know?
Yeah, the flute, he's calling from a flute brick phone.
Yeah.
He's on roaming,
Yep. Damn it.
Wow.
Look at 10 seconds.
So after Dad Flute talks to you and he runs off to the bar, probably, a jewel will appear on the left side where you can reach. A jewel will appear on the left side where you can't reach. Use the same ability you used to move the statue in the seaside cave. Soon after, Hamlet will show up with a key to open the jail door. To open the door, you will need to equip the key in your inventory and then use it on the door. There is a door to dark space in the area to the right. You can unlock the cell from the dumbass guard who locked himself in there if you want. It doesn't really matter. I do think it's important to call out there's a difference between the jewels we're talking about that you collect to kind of unlock areas and then the red jewels that you collect for the jewelers.
Yep.
That makes sense, yeah.
The first enemies you will encounter are in the room to the south. When you defeat all enemies in an area, you will receive a permanent power-up. It is very important to defeat all the enemies in every area you arrive at throughout the adventure. That is how you increase your health, strength, and defense. You can press start, and you will see how many enemies remain and a shitty map or lack thereof.
Dude,
it is
this
not
ain't a map.
good. It is not.
This
It
is
looks like an Atari game.
It's one thing that bugs me. It's like there's no map at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a map. It's like has little blinky spots in like directions a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a really cheap light bright on your screen with like a Space Invaders type character on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except not as cool as that even.
Yeah, no, I'm really glorifying it here.
Yeah.
Some enemies will open up an area when defeated. Eventually, a dandelion will start to follow you. Some of the enemies in the area are bats, canal worm. I almost said canal worm, which would be a different thing, I think.
Canal.
Well,
it's a monster that lives in the water and emerges from it periodically to shoot fireballs at you, which can be blocked.
That's definitely not from Legend of Zelda.
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
Never heard of it. A ribber.
Oh, God.
Did you make these up, Stoy? I don't think I
did not. No,
Okay.
no. These are legit. These are legit names.
Okay,
I'm not
the
kidding.
canal worm in the ribber. The ribber is a skeleton that sometimes throws rib bones like boomerangs.
Limited
Also
inventory, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
Well, you got to work with what you got.
Yep.
And then the skull chaser, a skeleton who runs after you, trying to cause contact damage. Trying to cause CTE on Will. It's a long-term plan from the enemies. Its head flies after you once you defeat the body.
Yeah, first area, you're going through these sewers, and you're getting a hang of the combat, which is not tough. It's kind of just fun. It feels good. Yeah, I like the flute attacks. I like the movement enough. You'll eventually come to a room with a flower and a voice telling you to play Lola's melody. Equip the song and play it near the flower, I'm like, oh, okay, let's figure out how the inventory system works here. That's a weird one.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the switch on the right side on the count of 3. Continue on, open up a door to the dark space, talk to the Statue of the Night to hit puberty hard, and you become Frieden. Will hears a voice in his head. Will, I've been waiting a long time for you to come. I am Frieden. I am Canal. I am eternal. Let me help you on your journey. As time goes by, you'll understand my nature. So this is not Will from the future. This is a separate being that Will can inhabit. So he's like possessing this older man.
So wait, where does this rank on the He-Man scale? I mean, is it like Prince Adam becoming He-Man? No, that's the same. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a good analogy here.
You know, it would have been interesting if this was an older version of Will, if they did that.
Yeah. No, you just kind of possess this other person. Swap out statue position, I guess.
Right, yeah.
He's great because Will's flute is actually not a weapon and not that good to use as a weapon. Yeah. So most of these little canal worms, you got to hit a couple times. Whereas if you're Frieden, he is just wrecking house, longer reach. He's much more equipped for combat.
Yeah, you'll be excited to see the save or the save room, the dark space room with him in there when you've been struggling to get through some enemies later in the game.
Mm-hmm. Using his great reach abilities, you make your way out of the prison and you meet a girl named Lily who seems to know your grandmother. She's shocked you can change your appearance like her. I'm Lily, an Atori girl protected by the flower spirit. How do you know a melody you could have only heard from us? Will says he heard it from his grandma Lola, and Lily knows her and says she was sent by her to rescue Will. Lily is whisked away, and Will beelines to Kara's room to rescue her. Will has got 2 girlfriends now. And I don't know who I prefer. We're going to find out.
2 girlfriends, 1 flute.
One flute. No. You want to hear my flute talk?
It's my dad in it.
Check out Flute Talk. Here, Dogcast Network.
Yeah.
She wants you to grab an item in the first open barrel in the left in the basement, a leg of roasted yak, just in case she gets hungry later on. Honestly, you got to prepare. You can't go out on a journey without the proper stuff.
She's thinking.
Yeah.
She's thinking.
Return to South Cape and you'll find Will's house a mess thanks to a hunter called Black Jackal. Kara is worried, saying he has no regard for human life. Lily shows up and tells Will his grandparents are safe at Itori Village. Lily says they should head to her village. Kara's never heard of it or seen such a village. And who is this dumb skank, she says. Something I'm paraphrasing. Lily explains there's a barrier around it and implores Will to follow her. Kara insists on joining, much to the dismay of Lily. She says it's too far or too dangerous, and Kara exclaims, "You can't stop royalty. I do what I want."
Can't stop, won't stop.
She's channeling her Cartman there, her Eric Cartman from the
I do
famous
what I want.
tactical RPG, South Park: Fractured But Whole.
Fractured But Whole, yeah.
Yes.
So many other RPGs base their gameplay off of Fractured
It started
But Whole.
a genre.
This is really an action-adventure Fractured But Whole is what this is.
Really?
Really, honestly.
It's a precursor to the butthole.
Exactly.
Check out all of our Discord to understand that joke if you don't know it.
Yep.
Will's ready, and Kara ignores Lily's warnings about it becoming dangerous. Both of them start to bicker and vie for your friendship. Will's like, "Whatever, man. I'm taking my flute and leaving." And they set off.
Let me grab my flute. Let's go, Dad. When you arrive at Ituri Village, Lily will tell you to play Lola's Melody. Both of Will's grandparents are here and safe. Here you can enter the dark space in the north to gain the Psycho Dash ability for Will, which then you can run down the slope to jump across the chasm, which separates the village in half. Here you can talk to the elder hidden among the flowers by the gravestones, and he shares a prophecy with you and tells you a little bit about your mother. Go to the cave below, use the Psycho Dash on the wall, where you see a brief flash, grab the Incan statue, and then return back to the elder. You can talk to Lily again to visit the Moon Tribe outside the village. She goes with you.
I feel like the Psycho Dash was lost in translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Psycho Dash,
Just call it Super Sprint or something. I don't know.
or just call it the Dash.
Psycho Dash.
Psycho Dash.
That's a fucking Mortal Kombat move, you know?
Yeah, right.
Let my nerd show here. I believe in Japanese, psycho is more like psychic. So I don't know if that translated over from that directly.
Sure.
So I think it's like him using his psychic ability. But yeah, you could have translated that a little bit better for the American market.
Some American looked at that. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna fucking make it Psycho. That sounds cooler."
Hell yeah. This is how we do it in America.
Will's clearly a psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the boy that talks to his flute?
Yeah, right. He keeps walking around. It says he has a flute on him.
He says he turns into an old and buff man sometimes.
Yeah. This kid's a little weird. Here the villagers speak about this Inca tribe. In the real world, actually, in our world, the Inca Empire was the largest pre-Columbian empire in the Americas, spanning modern-day Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, Argentina, Chile, and Colombia, with its capital at Cusco. Known as Tahuantinsuyu, the civilization thrived in the Andes Mountains from the 13th century until the Spanish conquest in 1532. Here, the villagers speak of the Inca as they have no written language and are rumored to have had a ship filled with gold and treasures. The Incas who lived here were a tribe without a written language. Their legends are left in song. Even in seemingly meaningless melodies, there is a message, one person says. And then another person says, many people have come here to gather Incan gold, but many who set foot in the ruins have never returned. Here you could talk to more shadows of the Moon Tribe ruins, and then you enter the cave below. Defeat all the enemies, they're like little slugs, within a 20-second time limit to show your worth, that you could save the world.
Can you defeat these slugs that fast?
In 20 seconds? Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne. Yeah, then you receive the other Inca statue and grab the statue, then talk to Lily to go to the Inca ruins herself. And unfortunately, Kara has followed you. She's here. And she heard Lola talk about the ruins and sent off herself to meet Will and Lily. She really doesn't want to be left out of anything and desires to see and experience as much as she can. Both her and Lily watch Will enter the Inca ruins and search for the first mystic statue his father told him about. So she's like, I don't want to miss anything, but I'm going to wait outside.
Just a lot of talking.
I made the joke in the Discord, but the Japanese name for her was Karen, which I think is much more appropriate.
Yes, very much. Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
That takes you to the Lorai Cliffs, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. You have to fight your way through the ruins. The enemies you'll encounter, there's the Four Wax, a trap like not floor wax, the Four Wax. as in the number.
These are real names. These are real names.
I believe you, Stoy. I believe you. A trap-like enemy that spins for a while, then stops to spit 4 darts from its 4 mouths. This is sounding way more vulgar than it really is. in either of the 4 cardinal directions or the 4 ordinal directions, whichever will go towards you. Then the mud pit, mudmen that like to lunge at you. The splop, an annoying
Splop.
Splop, the canal, the mud pit,
Canal Splop.
canal splop. I love that band.
Yep.
The splop is an annoying slime enemy that likes to waste your time by seeping into the ground and becoming untouchable for a little while. Can't get me. The Stone Lord, Stone Guard, a tough enemy that can summon fire trails by striking the ground with the tip of a spear. There is a medicine for that, I think. They also throw their spears at you. Then there's the Whirligig. The Whirligig, a statue head that flies around you, hoping you'll run into it. A couple do not move, and one of these must be defeated as Friedan due to his reach to progress. So you have to use Friedan's reach to progress.
And we're learning some of the you need to change between Friedan and Will as we're going through here, because sometimes you need Will's force abilities, like his psychotic dash that he does, or they just have different reasons to switch between them for certain spots, certain puzzles, if you will.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like this is a little underbaked. Like they could have used this more to create more puzzles, like going between areas. You have a little bit of it later on in the game, but not as much as you might think right off the bat.
Yeah, maybe one instance where it's like you need it or something. Yeah.
When you after that, when you come to a spike pit blocking a door, there's an enemy next to it covering up a diamond-shaped hole. Continue on, and you will come to a treasure chest on a cliff with a diamond-shaped block. Equip it and put it in the hole to create a path. When you come to statues blocking the way, you can use the psychotic madman dash to destroy them. On the cliffside, you will see a gap in the stones between 2 bridges that will allow you to jump down to the door below. Continue on until you make your way to a room with 4 golden statues and 4 floor tiles. Use your ability to move the statues onto the gold floor tiles. Once they are on 3 tiles, you can step on the 4th to open a doorway.
Classic puzzle.
Love
Classic.
it.
Yeah.
Classic 16-bit, 8-bit puzzle. When you reach the dark space, become Friedan. Go outside and you will learn the melody of the wind. Backtrack and you will be able to hit a statue that was out of Will's attack range. This is really countering what I just said. But anyway, you may come to a room with many gold tiles, but Will is needed for this part. Turn back into Will and return to the gold tile room and play the melody of the wind. Stand on the tile that begins to glow until a door opens. Continue on and place the Incan statues in the slots on the cliffside. Enter the dark space and become Friedan again. Yeah, really countering what I said. Step on the tile between the 3 pillars to the left, and a wind will blow you over to the Guardian of the Ruins.
A fun little area. I like the Lurai Cliffs quite a bit.
Yep.
The melody of the wind, I remember recording that one too with a tape recorder, kind of like how you talked about, Phil. I remember when I was younger, I queued up that spot and I was like, hit the record at the same time.
Yeah.
Such a cool little kind of short melody.
Yep.
Well, we have our first big boss fight with Castoff, a large red demon in a pit locked in with you. He attacks with his large hands, fire, and lasers. Yes, you heard right, lasers.
There's going to be a lot of lasers in this.
A lot of lasers.
Yeah.
Strike his hands until they are no longer grabbing the ledge. After his hands are gone, dodge attacks and wait for his eyes to glow a bright green. Begin attacking the head when that happens. If he starts stomping, that means he will begin shooting a beam around that bottom part of the room.
This is really the first Souls-like game, if you ask me.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be ready.
With more slavery.
A lot more human trafficking.
You change back into Will, enter the next room, dropping down the large hole, and find yourself on the Incan ship. That's weird. Everyone's alive and talking to you, calling you the king. Talk to the queen inside, who is eagerly awaiting your return. She implores you to go to the crow's nest and take the mystic statue from the treasure chest below deck. When you are done talking to everyone, climb the crow's nest, and the ship will sail out of the darkness. Will takes a little sleepy sleep and dreams of his home. He walks downstairs and finds his mother, Shira, looking out the window. Look in the sky. The comet is so beautiful, she says. After years and years, the comet approaches Earth, then recedes. Some say it's an unlucky star. Some say it's a lucky star. Will, what do you think? Your choice doesn't really matter here. She concludes the dream with, Will, I'm with you either way. That was a dumb response, but I'm still your mom.
It's the illusion of choice. Will, you get used to it.
Yeah. Either way, this is the end of this dialogue that was written. It doesn't have an effect on the game. I hope you got something out of this conversation with your fake mom. I'm here. I'll always be with you. But it was a dream, so she's not really there.
It is kind of a shame that there was like missed opportunities here where it's like, hey, maybe like your choices could alter the ending, so to speak, or like alter certain, kind of like a, Clementine will have remembered that.
The escaped slave becomes the final secret boss. He's like, you sold me out for a red jewel.
Red jewel, you bastard.
Yeah, that would be sick.
That would be awesome, yeah. So you wake up, Lance and the others are there. Lance tells you that they were suspicious of you and started to follow you all the way to where they are now.
So hopefully you killed all the enemies, otherwise they would have been slaughtered.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez, nice job, Will. Lance says, Will, you can't go on a journey without telling us. Since we're friends, we have to share good times and bad. And that's why Lance is my best friend.
He's out.
You find Kara standing in front of the skeletal remains of the queen on her throne. The rest of the ship sailing the ocean now is derelict and littered with the skeletal remains of the crew, with no gold on board to speak of. Will was just like, I was just talking to these people. They perished waiting for the king's return. I can't stand anything that disrupts people's lives, Kara says. She notices the ring still left on her finger. Many people have lost their lives trying to get rich by finding this ring. I want the ring. It's so pretty, I really must have it. Lily puts her on blast before she gets interrupted by someone screaming in the distance. It was Seth screaming. Eric cries that he saw Seth fall overboard and get eaten by Riverson, a large fish monster.
Fuck yeah. Dude.
We don't see who Riverson is, but we hear about him.
Seth, you have been on the adventure for 5 minutes and you fucking died.
Yeah, right away. Off screen. Jesus, man.
They gave him the off-screen death.
Yep. The ship begins to shake violently as Lance implores Eric to just hold on to something. The ship breaks apart, then the scene cuts to just Will and Kara on a raft.
Love it. Yeah, this is a long scene too.
Mm-hmm. Classic scene though from the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where it's like you're really just waiting and you're really feeling the effects of like being lost at sea and like, stranded. You find yourself adrift. You can talk to her, and Kara's like, I want that leg, that yak leg that's been sitting in your pocket.
I need that pocket meat.
Give me that pocket meat.
Give me that pocket meat. No, not the flute. Damn it. So yeah, you eat the leg of yak together. One day passes. You can start hitting the fish as they jump by, but Kara will get angry every time you do that. Eventually, these days pass on by. Time passed slowly, Will says, kind of as a narrator, with nothing to break the monotony. Kara just stared at the fish all day. Will couldn't stand it. He walked around on the raft and talked to Kara many times. A minute seemed like forever, but he could hear the march of time. We get to day 4. You will see a jar with a message float to the raft. Kara says she has some premonition or something like that about this, but the message is from a guy named Sam who implores anyone who reads it to save him and his crew from forced slave labor. Yikes.
What is
On
the game
7,
rated?
Yeah. Can we get a slave labor mention count going?
This was before the era of game ratings, so no rating on it. On day 7, you can hit some fish to start eating them actually, and actually regaining some of your health, because in this day it's like your life bar is whittled down to 1, so every time you kill a fish, you eat it. You can talk to Kara, and then she begrudgingly says, all right, fine, I'll have some fish. And then that's it.
Well, then here is when Will and Kara will start to develop feelings for one another. She's very impressed with his flute. Will is...
They didn't show one of the scenes of them taking dumps on the raft next to each other either.
I know, yeah. I mean, it's all got to go somewhere.
We're all in this together, right? You hold hands, and you just,
I'm going to hover my butt cheeks over the side of the raft. I need you to hold my hands.
It's teamwork.
Yep.
Will's impressed that Kara's mellowed out a bit, not acting like the spoiled princess anymore. Kara professes she enjoys just being with Will, and he shares that same feeling. They share a tender moment before Will passes out. This is on day 21. Day 21, no provisions, no equipment, all that salt water, pocket meat that is spoiled by the time before you even got out of the prison. Yeah, but somehow they made it.
I actually, it's funny because once I got to this scene, I was like, how long does it take for you to like die adrift at sea or something like that?
Without water, you don't last long.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So it's like people, there's some accounts of like people being stranded for like over a year, but with like equipment and provisions and stuff like that. And then there was like others where it's like, they were lost at sea for like 20 days and stuff like that. So it's all over the board. So there wasn't really.
Fortunately, Will has psycho desalinization as another power.
Time to drink piss. Bear Grylls method.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we've passed day 21, and then Will wakes up in someone's house. A man tells you his dog found your raft at sea and alerted him to rescue you. And his name is Turbo, and he is the bestest boy, and we love Turbo.
I'd eat him.
Yep.
If you're in a village, and
just saying, if I had to.
If you're desperate.
Yeah.
The man tells Will that he suffered from scurvy, a vitamin C deficiency in your body, not thirst or hunger, just scurvy. And he tells you that Columbus's crew contracted it once. Nothing to worry about. When it gets worse, the blood gets bad and the skin turns black. The gums bleed and the body starts decaying. Kara interrupts the man from going on any further and tells him that is bad and is something to worry about. But thankfully, the man saved him with the power of vitamin C.
Yeah.
He recommends finding your friend.
A little bit orange juice.
You're all right. Suck on this lemon. He recommends finding your friends in the big town of Phrygia, and you make haste. And here we end up in Phrygia, if I'm saying that one correctly. The pronunciation of this game has always got me. Follow Kara.
I think we're all learning how we've said it
Exactly.
in our own brains for 30 years.
Exactly. Follow Kara to the hotel, and you will find Lily and the others there. Lance has lost his memory, and Eric has gone out into town. Walk around town a bit and go to the cave in the back part of town and tell the guard you want to look at the laborers. Yikes. You can talk to... those would be the slave laborers we mentioned before.
Yeah.
Fun child's game.
Yeah.
You can talk to each one, and they lament about their lives, taking terrible turns and needing to subject themselves to slave labor to survive. While Sam, the one from the letter, tells you the story about how they were rescued by a man named Eric. But he was captured in the raid. He tells you where to find him. Go to the locked house in the back alley and break down the door by attacking it. Eric will tell you the location of the diamond mine and pleads with you and you alone to break into the diamond mines and free all the slaves. You have the power.
Yep.
To free the slaves.
Yeah, you have to go find the Sankara stones with a little Asian sidekick and a squealing woman.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got to take a mine cart ride halfway through.
Dun, 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 dun.
Temple of Doom, best Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I mean, it's underrated.
I didn't ask your opinion, Stoy. I was saying a declarative statement that it is the best Indiana Jones.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yes. Bold, I respect it.
I respect it too. I'm not going to argue.
You burst your way into the diamond mines and kill everyone you find. Changing to Frieden is definitely recommended as soon as you can. You'll be fighting the Eye Stalker, a floating eye with tentacles that shoots freaking laser beams out of its eye. A Flazer, a large lizard humanoid that is equipped with a shield and metal whip spike. So they are smart enough to have weapons. I wonder what the Flazers are like. Do they have love and emotions? We don't know. We kill them.
We'll never know because they're all dead.
Because we killed them all. And then the Grundit, a worm that bursts out of the ground and pukes projectiles at you. Beautiful, beautiful culture there. After saving a couple of slaves from their chains, you come up to another dark space, change to Will, use his Psycho Dash ability on the wall above to create a wall leading to another dark space. And there you can get Frieden's Dark Fryer ability. Not like an air fryer, but like a fryer.
Like a drunk fryer.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
After charging your power, you ejaculate a powerful projectile from your sword.
I had to use that word on purpose. Yeah.
Go back to the last room and use the ejaculate to hit the enemy that was out of Will's reach. You can come from a further distance with your projectiles at this point. Now you'll
Yep.
now be able to use the ramp to get to the other side. A laborer will give you a key for the elevator near the entrance. Eventually, you will find 3 laborers. They're just slaves. Eventually, you'll find 3 slaves in a dead end.
Yeah.
I feel like they even just church it up. Like that's bad.
They're slaves. Yeah.
They both are grateful, especially Sam. Thank you. I heard from Eric, your friend has lost his memory. Legend says there's a song that brings back the past. Please let him hear it. Sam says he hums a nice melody called the Memory Melody, and he asks for the prison key and the melody of the wind as a souvenir. And then you leave.
So we're back in Frisia. You play the memory melody for Seth, and not only do memories flood back to him, but everyone in the room begins to remember deep-seated memories and feelings. They enter into this ethereal plane, and they play that really nice kind of dark powers, that dark room music. Kara laments about her father sending armies to invade other lands. Lance begins to remember his father and how he misses him. Eric is just worried about Seth, because Eric has no character development in this game, unfortunately. Lily depressingly says people live on because they forget about unpleasant things. That's deep.
We are children.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course. Talk to Eric, and he will suggest you all head to see an eccentric inventor in the woods ahead named Neil. And Will's like, Neil? That's the same name as my long-lost cousin. The crew.
There's only one Neil.
There's only one Neil on this planet.
It's a rare name. There's no Neils.
Yeah. Well, I mean, admittedly, we haven't met another Neil in this game, right? So
I stand corrected.
Yes.
yeah, I guess. You get to Neil's cottage. You talk to him, who's excited to see Will again. Kara can't stand the smell, and Neil apologizes, saying he hasn't changed his socks in about a month. You can take a look at his inventions around the room: the oxygen tank, airplane wings, the camera, and the telescope. Will tells Neil about hearing his father's voice. He's heard it in my flute. And visiting the world's ruins in his search to find the mystic statues. Neil expresses a little bit of interest. He's like, interesting. I, too, have some interest in ruins. The ruins Will talked about are scattered all over the world, but they have something in common. Drawing a line among the ruins makes a shape that looks like the constellation of Cygnus. The crew gets excited at hearing this. The constellation of Cygnus is shaped like a swan in the sky, in real life, actually. There are many mythological stories about Cygnus, but one thing that's weird is that there's an extra star in the constellation, and it's red. Neil is starting to kind of put the dots together and suggests they head over to the Nazca Plains, which is a week's walk from where they are now. The crew are excited to depart.
And after some really sick Mode 7 map traveling,
We didn't mention the map yet. That is.
Oh yeah, we didn't. Yeah. Damn.
Putting Mode 7 on the Super Nintendo to full use. Every time you need to leave a town or enter a town, and it rotates around. We found ourselves in the Nazca Plains. It was a long way, but you did a good job, Neil says to the crew. This is the most famous of the ground paintings, the Condor. Have you heard of it? No one knows why ancient people draw pictures like this. Whenever I come here, I'm overwhelmed by the grand scale. You should go see it for yourself. And then you wander around for a while. The Nazca lines are a group of geoglyphs made in the soil of the Nazca Desert in southern Peru. They do exist, like we mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. They were created sometime between 500 BC and 500 AD by people making depressions or shallow incisions in the desert floor, removing pebbles and leaving different colored dirt exposed. There are 2 major phases of the Nazca lines: the Paracas phase, from 400 to 200 BC, and the Nazca phase, from 200 BC to 500 AD. In the 21st century, several hundred new figures have been found with the use of drones, and archaeologists believe that there are more to be found. The first published mention of the Nazca lines was by Spanish conquistador Pedro Cieza de Leon in his 1553 book, where he described them as trail markers. Some of the geoglyphs resemble a spider, a tree, a hummingbird, a condor, a parrot, a monkey, and so many more. Ancient astronaut theorists believe it to be an airport land. Okay, yes, I did read that correctly.
Yeah.
If you're watching Ancient Aliens,
yes.
You may hear someone mention with really wild hair that they believe it to be an airport landing zone for UFOs.
Ancient astronaut theorists believe.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Aliens. As described by Swiss pseudoscientist writer Eric von Daniken in his 1968 book, Chariot of the Gods.
Yikes.
As the Nazca...
I had to add that in there because
that's great.
I've watched Ancient Aliens enough to know that every historical site has some sort of like ancient alien theory.
It's an alien airport.
It's an alien airport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were supposed to get out of there. They got stuck there overnight. They just decided to draw some lines.
Yeah. Turn on the landing lights. There it is. Is that a monkey?
Land over there by the Condor. At the Nazca Plains, wander around. Back to the game now. But at the Nazca Plains, wander around talking to everyone. Afterwards, you will see a moon shadow in the bottom left part of the painting of the Condor. Chase it around, then talk to Neil. Eric says the Condor suspiciously looks like Cygnus, and Lily even adds to it that the random stones scattered around the site are positioned exactly where the stars are in the constellation. Answer the left foot when Neil asks where the red star pops up, then head over there with everyone. Eventually, you will find a buried tile at that spot. A large shadow drops over the crew, and Will mysteriously vanishes.
And this brings us to our next dungeon section, the Sky Garden. You'll find yourself aboard the garden, a floating spaceship. Ancient alien theorists might have been right.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, they had something going.
In order for Will to advance through the main pathway in the middle of the site, you have to hit 4 corners of the large sprawling garden, obtaining 4 crystals to unlock a bridge. For the enemies, there'll be the blue-red cybers. These potentially aliens, diamond statues, shoot lasers at you and blast you with rocket fists. They'll fist you. The Dynapede, a worm-like creature that crawls around, once defeated, its ball parts crash onto the ground, sometimes causing excess damage. And the Slasher, a knight holding a sword. The knight doesn't attack you, but the sword, if you hit it, will fly around and stab you. Occasionally, you have to drop to the other side of the garden to advance through the levels. Man, gravity sure is neat. You'll actually right to like 180 to the other side. And another like pretty awesome dungeon. I remember really liking this one. Going up and down and knowing to get to like point A way up there. We can't get there up on this side, so you drop to the other to get over there. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you can manipulate the environment in certain areas like posts, you know, like if a certain post is blocking your way, sometimes you have to go on the other side to like hit a switch that like removes the post and then you can pass through.
Yeah.
Kind of neat.
Eventually, you're going to get to the main boss, the Viper. They ran out of cool names. Viper is a statue head with wings and talons, flies around and tries to knock you around with its wings and projectiles. You get the next mystic statue, but oh shit, the entire garden is now falling. You hear Neil's voice in the distance. He's flying his airplane and implores Will to just frickin' jump on, and he'll catch him. Neil misses the first go around and he dropped a contact and proceeds to get a lashing from Kara. Don't worry, he catches him the second time.
I thought that was hilarious. He's like, "Oh shoot, I dropped the contact." It's like, what?
What year is it?
Right.
You're flying over the ocean now with your crew literally hanging on for dear life. One on the tail, the other on the wing, and Will just hanging out on top. Neil suggests they head over to the next site, the ocean city of Mu. The plane mysteriously crashes, unfortunately. I feel like this might be a good point to stop for part 1.
Yeah, I say. Because we're going to be hitting up a lot more sites for sure. And there's so much more, especially with, Mu and the Ocean Palace was kind of an interesting one because it's like a mythical place, like the island of Mu. And I was like when I was doing my research on it, I was like, oh, this is like, Atlantis type shit, And I remember hearing about it back then too, where I was like, oh, it's like the mysterious Pacific continent, that's out there. But anyway,
for next time.
Yeah, we'll save that for next time. So
I do have to say, in an amazing coincidence, a friend of mine, childhood friend, who he and I got this game and played it together, just texted me about his complete in-box copy of Illusion of Gaia and wanted to
nice.
flex. And I'll have to let him know, Stoy, you're a collector yourself and already have one. But
does your friend have a shirt?
I'm gonna see if I don't know if he still has his shirt. I'll have to ask.
Yeah.
I know you can just buy a shirt that's similarly done on Amazon. I know I looked it up once, and I was like, I suppose if I really jonesing for a shirt, I could buy one on Amazon for like $15. But
I thought about
you know,
writing on a shirt with a piece of paper. This is my Illusion of Gaia shirt, but
you
not
could
that
sell that.
ambitious. Yeah.
You could sell that. Well, thanks for listening to part 1 of this episode, guys. We're gonna hit up part 2 on the next one, where we find out what's in the Ocean Palace, and hint, hint, there's gonna be vampires there. So, yeah. Otherwise, what are our thoughts of the first half so far?
Yeah, I think it's a great start to the game. What we've covered so far lays out what the storyline is about. What the gameplay is going to look like. The game loop that you get into in each dungeon. And sets up this large scale adventure that you're going on, and what you need to accomplish. And again, having played it recently for the first time in 20 some odd years, it still impressed me, the scale of it all, and just the sense of adventure, and where am I going to go next, and what am I going to see, and what other weirdly named enemies am I going to encounter.
Yeah,
these are not made up names by me. I literally pulled this from the Illusion of Gaia wikis, and
you pulled it from your mud pit.
Yeah.
Yes, right from the mud pit.
Just the general vibes of this game work so well for me. The music and the combat, it feels good. It has mature themes, but it has simple gameplay. And I think that's a strength for me as a younger gamer, because Legend of Zelda, when I was a little guy, I'm sure I ran into many puzzles. I'm like, well, this is never going to get solved, or this is like, nothing is going to break your brain too much. But then they're like, we're going to talk about slavery. So I appreciate that. It's a very simple story to latch onto, and then they start busting out some like bigger existential ideas and situations that not easy to think about or deal with at any age. So I mean, I love Illusion of Gaia, and if anything, might be better to get a bigger move set for Frieden and Will. A couple more verbs would have been nice, but it's simple. It works.
Yeah. I just like the kind of like the camaraderie, with Will's friends and stuff like that. How it's like you're kind of kids going on this big adventure, and like every kid dreams about, when they're growing up. It's like, you want to go on this big adventure with your friends. You gotta want to, do some globe trotting and see the world, and solve this existential crisis that's happening to the earth. It's like, that only kids can solve. But the music was really kind of what hooked me right at first. Even like that title screen, it's just letting that title screen roll, and then letting it go into that kind of like soft intro where they kind of explain a little bit of the world. But I think definitely, the music really hit me, and I think just that sense of camaraderie. Every character had its own little personality, even though we're kind of limited in the tech with having more of the characters being fleshed out. But I was doing these notes, and I kind of ended up really feeling really bad for Eric, because he's like a nobody. He's just there,
And not every character needs to have an arc.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Seth unfortunately met his demise pretty early, but
I know many 10-year-olds that are boring and uninteresting. So maybe when he grows up, he will become an interesting person.
Yes, that is true.
Yes.
That is true. So,
and actually, I don't know many 10-year-olds. That sounded weird in that way, but I'm sure that there are many 10-year-olds that are kind of boring.
There are many 10-year-olds who I would not cry about if they fell over a boat.
Yeah, I'm like,
I am going to assume, yes, if I saw a 10-year-old getting eaten by a large fish monster, I might be like, ooh, okay.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, right.
And the beauty of playing this game as an adult is it makes us all nostalgic for those days when we would hang out in a cave with our friends and show off our flute.
Yeah. Can you move that statue by twirling your flute? Yeah, let me try it.
Beautiful.
Otherwise, stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for listening, guys.
And special thanks to all of our Patreon executive producers. If
Yeah,
you're
actually-
excited about this and our community and you want access to other bonus episodes from all of our shows, check out patreon.com/Hair of the Dogcast. Special thanks to Patreon executive producers Phil Wright,
Me.
Corbin Snipes, Brian Ward, Ryan Christianick, Kipper, Jordan Hoff, Phil Just Red Bear, Phil Thanks Tyler, Justin Melly, Just Sonic, Spetsnaz, Ejot, Tony the Pepperoni, BG, Andy Bongwater, Alex Type 1 Error, Eddie Reyes, and of course Club Chut Dugas. We appreciate your support.
Yeah, it's what keeps the lights on. It's what keeps us going, and what keeps us kind of keep on churning out this varied content, within the network. I mean, we got movies, we got video games, we got, retro stuff, old, new, a little bit of everything. So,
Yep.
Guys, thanks for having me on. And I will vouch for the Discord and becoming a Patreon member. It's an absolute blast in there. Great community. So thanks for having me be a part of it. Have me a part of this. Hopefully I can come back for part 2.
You'll be there.
yeah. Oh, yeah, you'll be there. Yeah, we have to keep that going. But yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing about, if you're a Patreon supporter and you're in the Discord, you're kind of influence a lot of our content, and things we talk about. I mean, how many times has Tony Pepperoni talked about, or what is his name? Brad's sleep paralysis demon?
He's not allowed to change his name, in my opinion, so he's still Tony Pepperoni, despite he hasn't used it for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, he's the one that got, he's talked about Kingdom Hearts so much in the Discord that I was like, maybe I should look into this Kingdom Hearts thing. So
You should.
that's going to be a future Retro XP episode where I kind of talk about my my journey into the Kingdom Hearts universe. So
They have a lot of good things despite everything else.
I will say it's not as bad as I painted it out to be before.
No, they're very playable.
I am having fun. So, all right. Well, stay tuned for the next episode, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.